Hello, beautiful humans. I'm Gemma Drone, and I decided it was time to jump on here and do another collective awakening report because it's been quite a while since I did my last one, and things are wild here on planet Earth at this moment in time. Things are pretty crazy, and I know we're all feeling it, and so it's time to talk about it a little bit. And so, if you're feeling what I'm feeling, which is anxiety, overwhelm, stress, a lot of internal chaos, which reflects the external chaos, of course, and having a hard time making decisions, having a hard time knowing how to move forward, having a hard time knowing, what's best, what's good and what's not, and just feeling overstimulated all the time. First, know one, that you're not alone, that we're all feeling this, and this is a symptom of the incredible amount of change that is happening right now on planet Earth. There's so much influx of information, of opinions, of perspectives, and new technology and new insights and things shifting politically everywhere, all over the world, that it is hard not to feel overwhelmed. And if you're not, good job, because it is so challenging right now. But I believe that the higher purpose of all of this information that's being dumped onto the planet right now is to confuse us. And this is the higher purpose. I'm not talking about any sort of agenda right now, which that may have some similarities, but completely different, and from a completely different vibrational level. Because when we are given all of this information and it confuses us and we go, what the fuck, I don't know what to believe anymore, that's perfect. Because what happens is then we have to go within ourselves and find out, okay, what's true for me? What's my truth? What do I believe about all of this? Because there's so much conflicting information that I can't tell what's right and what's wrong. And so it forces us to let go and to go deep within and to say, okay, what is the truth for me in this situation right now? And we have to remember that we also have our own perspective and bias that can influence our truth. And so we go down below that perspective and that bias, and we go a little bit deeper and out of the chaos of the mind and into the heart and feel for what is true for you right now. What is your truth? And so that's a great practice for you to do this week, and actually probably at least once a week revisit that practice, dropping out of the mind into the heart and really feel into what's true for me right now. Or if there's a particular topic that you're confused about or you need to make a decision about, that same thing of dropping out of the head, past the thinking mind and into the heart, and just really feeling into what your truth is and trusting that. And so when I look at the bigger picture of what's happening on the planet from the lens of awakening, because that's what I do, I see that we as a planet are moving through all of the cycles of awakening very quickly in the past few years. Now, when we go through the cycles of awakening personally, it usually takes quite a while to go from the wake-up call, the thing that catalyzes our awakening, all the way through all of the phases, including the dark night of the soul, all of the crazy, incredibly challenging, soul-searching, deep work that we need to do to come out to the point of rebirth and re-entry. It usually takes a long time when we're doing this personally. Collectively, it reflects exactly what has been happening. Things are moving faster and faster, and so we've gone through many cycles of the awakening process collectively in the past few years. And where I see us right now is in phase 2, which is the rabbit hole, piercing the illusion. This is where everything is up for debate. Everything is up for grabs. Everything is questioned. And we are seeing that everything is an illusion. And so that's where we are at this moment in time, as so much is happening on this planet. And we're all going, okay, I'm just watching this and I don't know what the fuck is going on. And it all seems like bullshit. Perfect. Because as we do that, as we go through the rabbit hole of all of these things, it brings us back to ourselves, just like I was talking about just a minute ago. The purpose of it is to bring us down through that rabbit hole into ourselves, into our own truth. And so when we move out of the rabbit hole, this next phase is the phase 3, isolation and separation. And knowing that these phases aren't always linear and they often overlap, we can see that that's already starting to happen. That isolation and separation is big. And some of it is a result of all of the toxicity that's coming to the surface to be cleared right now. And also that separation and isolation is also necessary in order for each one of us to process what's happening right now. And so if you're really feeling like you just want to be alone, that you really need some time to yourself, then take it. Take that time, find that space, even if it's just a little bit of time each day, and give yourself the space to process everything that you're feeling, everything that's coming through, everything that's happening. Because it's not just change on the 3D physical level that we're feeling and experiencing. That is huge. But we're also experiencing a massive amount of energy that's being dumped onto the planet right now. And we're all feeling that. And that energy is of a higher vibration. And so we have to give our bodies the space and the time to shift into that higher vibration, to feel what's happening, to allow it to really find what's holding us back and move it out. And it's not always easy. And so give yourself that time and space. Give yourself the space to feel into what's true for you. Trust yourself. Self-care is extremely important right now, and protecting the nervous system, regulating the nervous system is really of paramount importance at this time. And so meditation, breath work, yoga, naps, walks in nature, lots of nature, are all going to be really helpful and important right now. And if you haven't heard of these phases of awakening that I'm talking about, from my perspective, if this is new to you, there are videos on the channel about each phase, and also my book, Uprising, Surviving and Thriving in a World That Is Waking Up, goes into detail about all of the different phases of awakening, all of the symptoms, all of the aspects of awakening. So if you're interested, pick a copy of that up, and just know that we're in this together, and take care of yourself. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I love you so much. Mwah.